Okay, next, transport of carbon dioxide. Yesterday we discussed about transport of oxygen through plasma and red blood cells. That is different. Now, transport of carbon dioxide. So, transport of carbon dioxide to the alveolar walls, to the alveolar sac. Three means. The first one is dissolved state. About 3% of carbon dioxide is transported through plasma in transported about 3% of carbon dioxide is transported through plasma in dissolved state. That is called dissolved state. About 3% of carbon dioxide transported through plasma. Here, plasma. What is plasma? It is slightly yellow in color, alkaline in nature. It is present in blood, in which the chief component is water. Plasma contains 95% of water. Rest 5% remaining, albumin, globulin, fibrinogen, copramine, other factors are present. Okay, plasma is slightly yellow in color. Straw color means yellow color. It is slightly alkaline in nature. It is present in the blood only. Okay, so that's chief component of plasma is water. So this plasma also transports some amount of carbon dioxide. That is 3%. Okay, yesterday we have discussed that even oxygen also 3% transport. Okay, from alveolar to the tissues, from alveolar to the heart to the tissues, 3% of oxygen is transported. Okay, in reverse direction, carbon dioxide from the tissues to heart to lungs. 3% of carbon dioxide is transported through plasma in dissolved state. Okay, that is one statement. Dissolved state. Next one. Second. As carbamino and carbamino compound. About 22 to 25%. 22 to 25% of carbon dioxide is directly combined with free amine group of hemoglobin. And forms carbamino compound. See here, in the form of hemoglobin contains free amine group, combines carbon dioxide is combined with the free amine group and forms this is called carbamino compound in reversible manner. Okay, so carbon dioxide combined with the free amine group of hemoglobin in reversible manner. Hemoglobin is not combined with this carbon dioxide in reversible manner. Okay, so about 20 to 25% of carbon dioxide is directly combined with free amine group of hemoglobin. It amine group. Okay, so in chemistry, biomolecules topic is there. Either second year I think so. Second year, in that biomolecules topic, you will study hemoglobin structure, chlorophyll, IUPAC structures. Okay, so in that IUPAC structure, 3 amine group, you get to know that. In biology, that IUPAC chemical structures you will not learn. Okay, because that much big IUPAC structures biology teachers cannot explain. Okay, so this is a small equation, so I am saying that. Okay, so with this is combined with this and bonds. Okay, so HB as usual will write, and H from this one hydrogen is combined with here 2 oxygen groups. Okay, let's see what H ion. From here one is eliminated, H ion plus H plus. This is carbamino compound. Here, in this one, the partial, in the above equation, partial pressure of carbon dioxide. The binding of carbon dioxide with the amine group depends upon partial pressure of carbon dioxide. It is the factor. So the binding of amine group with the carbon dioxide depends upon partial pressure of carbon dioxide. In the above equation, partial pressure of carbon dioxide decides binding of carbon dioxide with the amine group of hemoglobin. Next, partial pressure of oxygen. Partial pressure of oxygen is the main factor that could affect binding this. Okay, so first hemoglobin is binds with the oxygen only. Where there is a partial pressure of oxygen is high. At that moment, carbon dioxide is reduced. Hemoglobin is combining with the CO2. That only. So partial pressure of carbon dioxide determine the binding of carbon dioxide with the hemoglobin. In this one, partial pressure of oxygen is a major factor that could affect binding this carbon dioxide to the hemoglobin. Here you have to remember one thing. Oxygen first comes alveoli, lungs. In the about oxygen, first comes alveoli or lungs. In the lungs, where there is a partial pressure, like that comes. Next comes tissues. But in carbon dioxide, first comes tissues. Next comes alveoli. In the tissues, where the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high and partial pressure of oxygen is low. In the tissues, partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high. Where the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high, partial pressure of oxygen is low in the tissues, leads to binding of more carbon dioxide occurs. Binding of more carbon dioxide occurs. This statement isn't clear. Okay, so when partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high, partial pressure of oxygen is low. At that conditions in the tissues, binding of more carbon dioxide occurs. This is one statement. Okay, so from the alveolar air, from the heart, oxygenated blood goes to all the body parts and released oxygen. Hemoglobin carries oxygen and releases oxygen. Immediately, hemoglobin binds with carbon dioxide. In that conditions, partial pressure of carbon dioxide is more. Then, hemoglobin binds with carbon dioxide and leaves oxygen. That is what I say. In the alveoli, where the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is low, partial pressure of oxygen is high. Where partial pressure of carbon dioxide is low and partial pressure of oxygen high in alveoli. Dissociation of carbon dioxide from carbon carbanion compound occurs. Dissociation. Dissociation of carbon dioxide. Dissociation of carbon dioxide from carbanion compound occurs. That means carbon dioxide from the tissues transported into the alveolar cells or alveolus. Carbon dioxide from the tissues transported to the alveolar sacs. From the alveolar sacs, that particular carbon dioxide is expelled out through respiratory pathway. That condition in alveoli occurs. That is when where the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is low, partial pressure of oxygen is high. Dissociation of carbon dioxide occurs. This separation of carbon dioxide from the hemoglobin takes place. That means carbon dioxide from the tissues reach to the alveolar sacs, alveolus. There, the carbon dioxide in the alveoli, the carbon dioxide is eliminated out through respiratory pathway. Okay, so that is as carbanion compound. How much? Approximately in between that. Okay, carbanion compound. First, oxygenated blood reach to the tissues from heart. In the tissues, when carbon dioxide, when oxygen is reached to the tissues, tissues are utilizes oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. At that moment, hemoglobin leave the oxygen and take the carbon dioxide and travel back to the alveolus. From them, it is expelled out. Here, one point you have to remember, one objective discussion you have to remember. That is, hemoglobin is an amphoteric compound. Hemoglobin is an amphoteric compound. Amphoteric compound, remember? Amphoteric compound reacting chemically as an acid. Reacting chemically as either an acid or base. According to the situation, it has a peculiar character. Hemoglobin has a peculiar character, different character. It performs two functions, not simultaneously. That's why it is called peculiar character. Hemoglobin contains a peculiar character. That is, it can carry where oxygen is rich. It can carry oxygen where oxygen is rich. It can carry oxygen from the oxygen-rich areas and leaves the carbon dioxide. Next, it can carry carbon dioxide where the carbon dioxide rich areas. At that moment, it leaves the oxygen. That's why it performs. It is called peculiar character. Once again, hemoglobin is amphoteric compound. Amphoteric, chemically it is amphoteric. In chemistry, you might have studied up to 10th class. If not, PUC first year, second year, you may get it. Hemoglobin nature is amphoteric compound, reacting chemically as either acid or base. Hemoglobin has a peculiar character. Hemoglobin has a peculiar character. What is that? Hemoglobin can carry oxygen where oxygen is rich site. At that moment, it leaves carbon dioxide. And hemoglobin carry carbon dioxide where carbon dioxide rich areas. At that moment, it leaves oxygen. It is important for object discussion. On this, whatever the points I said, 3-4 bits, they will ask in object discussion. Yes, amphoteric compound. Okay, that's all. Amphoteric compound. Okay, so this much is that's as a carbon amino compound. Okay. As bicarbonate. About 70% of carbon dioxide transported in the form of bicarbonates. About 70%, approximately 70% of carbon dioxide transported as bicarbonates. Bicarbonates. Here contain red blood cells contains excess amount of enzyme that is called enzyme called carbonic anhydrase. Red blood cells contains a large amount or higher concentration of carbonic anhydrase and plasma plasma contains lower concentration of carbonic anhydrase. Comparatively, red blood cells and plasma, red blood cells contains higher concentration of carbonic anhydrase and so less amount of carbonic anhydrase is present in plasma too. So this carbonic anhydrase enzyme, remember wherever the body ends with ASE, that is an enzyme. When the body ends with OSE, that is sugar, glucose, sucrose, maltose, lactose, galactose, like that. Red blood cells contains excess amount of carbonic anhydrase and same enzyme is present in less amount in plasma. So this carbonic anhydrase performs reaction in both the directions. That is CO2 plus H2O in the blood. Chief component of plasma is water. So carbon dioxide is combines with this and forms carbonic acid. Carbonic acid. Like this, disassociates. So here, in presence of carbonic anhydrase, carbon dioxide is combined with carbonic acid. In presence of carbonic acid, sorry, carbonic anhydrase, this carbonic acid is forms into bicarbonate ion and hydrogen. Okay, that's all. In tissues, where there is a partial carbon dioxide is high. Partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high. In the tissues, where the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high. And at the moment partial pressure of oxygen is low. The carbon dioxide is diffused into the blood. Diffused into the blood. The carbon dioxide is diffused into the blood and forms carbonic acid. See, same reaction I am saying. In tissues, where the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high and low PO2. Low PO2. That means blood only. Red blood cells and plasma. Diffusion into the red blood cells and plasma. That's why we say commonly blood. Diffusion into the blood. So why it is restricted? So when carbon dioxide is content at that moment, carbon dioxide content is higher at that moment due to catabolism of carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is separated and entered into the diffused into the blood. In the blood, water will present. So it will combine with water with the help of this enzyme and forms carbonic acid. Carbonic acid. This is happens in the tissues. So this carbonic acid later converted into bicarbonate ion and H plus ion in presence of carbonic anhydrase. This is what occurs in tissues. Next, in alveoli, where the partial presence of carbon dioxide is low, POD is high. PO2 is PCOD is low, POD is high. This reaction proceeds in opposite direction and forms water and carbon dioxide. This reaction proceeds in opposite direction. HCO3, this is combined and forms carbonic acid. This carbonic acid is dissociates into water and carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide from the alveolar sacs expelled out. Okay, so 70% of carbon dioxide. Thus, carbon dioxide trapped as bicarbonates. Carbon dioxide trapped as bicarbonates and expelled out through alveolar air. Alveolar air are through respiratory pathway. Okay, every 100 ml of deoxygenated blood can deliver 4 ml of carbon dioxide to the outside. Every 100 ml of oxygenated blood can transport 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues. From the tissues, every 100 ml of deoxygenated blood can deliver 4 ml of carbon dioxide. Finally, carbon dioxide trapped as bicarbonates into the alveolar sacs. From the alveolar sacs, that carbon dioxide is expelled out. Okay, so carbon dioxide reaches to the alveolar sac through hemoglobin only. Okay, hemoglobin from the heart brings carbon dioxide to the lungs. It leaves that carbon dioxide in the lungs and immediately it will take oxygen and goes to the heart. That's why hemoglobin is called amphoteric compound. It reacts as an acid and base, depends upon conditions, and also performs a peculiar character. It performs a peculiar character. Where the oxygen rich areas, it will take oxygen and leave the carbon dioxide. Where the carbon dioxide is rich areas, it takes the carbon dioxide and leaves the oxygen. Okay, so this is the transport of gases. That is, yesterday we have discussed oxygen, today we have discussed carbon dioxide. This the main topic, transport of gases, is finished. Some students sent doubts. Let's clarify those doubts. For recording, yes. Each more effect finish. Good morning, sir. For recording. 14 compound. Yes, Seema Vishnu Rathod react. So with both acid and base. Okay, the compound which will react with both acids and bases, that compound is called amphoteric. Hemoglobin is an amphoteric compound. Okay, that's a while respiration, how only oxygen enters to our body. Okay, no problem. Seema, in presence of oxygen only, in the cells, whatever may be the nutrients are present, those nutrients are gets break into heat energy. Okay, so that is the thing. So in presence of oxygen only, in the cells, Carbohydrates, proteins, fats are oxidized and releases energy. So oxygen is energy inducer. Carbon dioxide is energy expenditure. Energy expenditure happen. Okay, so that oxygen, so each and every body cell, if they wanted to perform, oxygen is required. So that the oxygen is reacted with our body cells and release energy, heat energy. That heat energy is in the form of ATP. One glucose molecule in our body oxidized and gives 38 ATP molecules. Each ATP molecule can give 7,200 kilocalories of energy. In future, we will discuss. But you have asked a question, so I am saying each ATP molecule can give 7,200 kilocalories. 7,200 calories. If we will convert it into kilocalories, 7.2 kilocalories. So one glucose molecule oxidizes and gives 38 ATP molecules in our body. In such a way, how many glucose molecules we are taking in the form of food? Those many of energy. That much amount of energy. So, okay, that entire energy entered to our body through